yeah, smokes have been buffed in their duration or what it is, but I feel like they could be very aggressive with this, and then immediately they're going to go for the pressure towards the A ramp position to get info. But there's two players also playing A here, so that might be a bit misleading here. But Mitch is just going to take them down. He doesn't even care.
Yeah, Mitch does not care for your push there. Over by that A connector, we'll see now as they drop back. Myth had to give up top ramps. He will be the sole player here watching out on Heaven, playing a real concerned strategy here. But they got a ton of value out of that. Two players got bopped immediately. Mid's going to be wide open. Myth doesn't have many options to move around. You're going to have a Sage working alone there, but it's Cutler. And if you have a Sage working by themselves, and who can hold themselves, who can hold their own, I should say, with a Classic, it certainly will be Cutler there. Shinobi, though, does manage to win in that Sage versus Sage fight. 4v2. Spike is going to be down. Can they retake this one here? Well, I just spoke too soon there. Infinite just stuffs Sub Rosa, leaving Myth all by his lonesome. And surely the day or the first round, at the very least, will belong to Team 10s.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like that. It'd be cool if Myth could find a way to get a bit of extra money through a kill hit. Oh, he gets the thing, but man, it feels so bad when they've actually purchased armor, or in this case, I think it was just overhealing from Reyna that allowed her to survive that headshot from the Ghost. Feels bad, man, but as you say, first round there going to Team 10s. And Team TSM, they went for a strat that kind of just backfired. They wanted to do a big push for info. They met a huge swell of opposition towards the A side of the map, and that was a wrap. And on top of that, they didn't even commit into the A site afterwards. They just reset. And
yeah. we haven't talked.
We're saying TSM and or TSM. It's like TSM Cloud9. It's just so great. Sorry, go ahead. Wait,
yeah, that's true. I just want to point out that like we were talking about how broken Reyna is, and we haven't talked about the fact that she's the only character that can heal HP into like the armor range, right? Everyone else who heals, it's like once your armor's gone, it's just gone. But she can overheal on top of everything else about her kit.
It's super strong. She is insanely good, actually. It's kind of nuts. I think the Nerf hammer is definitely going to be hitting her pretty soon because her stuff is just so strong. I think it's one of those things, right, where when you bring something in, it's always going to be a little bit too good.
You know, I don't know.
It's fun though.
I don't know if the Nerf hammer is going to come through. Genuinely, I know this may seem a little odd, but she serves the role that she's exactly now. You know what? Actually, no, I stand corrected because I don't want to eat my words on this one. I do think the Lear needs to be looked at with a keen eye.
Right.
But that's as far as it goes for me. I don't think that the rest of the kit though, like she only comes online and is a force when she's fragging. If you are not fragging, you are not contributing with the kit. The kit is reliant on you fragging, or I should say a majority of the kit is reliant on you fragging. Your ult is reliant on you getting kills. The Lear, though, is just really strong. That's probably the only thing. I don't think, though, that the rest of the kit, though, is a problem, in my opinion. I think the rest of the kit's fine.
Well, we're going to be into that first buy round here for Team Myth. It's been a bit of a rocky start, but they're looking to see what they can do here. They've got a fairly common spread. It definitely is interesting, like how they could be weak towards that B bomb side. They've got the dark cover there that's possible to block vision from the Omen, but beyond the Sage rotation with slow orbs and maybe a wall, there's not really delay for that B bomb site. Ultimately, if Team 10 really wanted to go in there, but the fight over mid here is going to benefit Cutler. He's going to be able to get a double. The trade does come through from Reyna. Decides to go intangible with it, but gets shot in the back. So it's looking like the trades will continue, and mid control is finally had by Team 10s, but the cost has been pretty high.
And that was a big fight for Skylar. Actually picked off Myth over by that B site. I was going to leave Wardell here to work with the Sage as he pushes right through the smoke there. You're never going to really expect that one when you pop the smoke and you go for the peek. The timing there, perfectly done. And even though Myth got picked off in B, they were there for the retake, executed together gorgeously. And that is going to give them a critical round win in round number 3. Let's see how they ride this momentum in round 4. Whether or not they're going to add another one to the win column here. This Team Myth has been the surprise, I think, for a lot of us. Not because we don't think Myth is good or you know, TSM, but I think it's just, you know, we just didn't know what to expect. You see so many, I mean, Team 10s is literally Cloud9. it's a full team. So I'm just, I'm a bit, I'm just very impressed by what we've seen here. And there's a reason why TSM have picked up the squad.
It's interesting because they build around their kind of young talent really well, TSM, by, as I mentioned, like putting Wardell in this position of strength. People always bait so that Wardell can get the kill. They just enable him massively. He plays the highest mechanically demanding agent, arguably, and we'll have to hold the fort there because TenZ will get a pickup in middle, taking down Sabrosa, the Brimstone, before I think that he really used any of his utility. And now there's just gonna be this huge presence from Team TenZ, and it looks like a retake is on the cards here from Team Myth in terms of that mid control, because they have managed to get a couple of agents around that position, but the retake comes in from Team TenZ, and look at this. They've already crept in Cypher into that A bomb site. They've got a forward position. Wardell's alone against basically the entire team.
Yeah, that was a rough one to have to deal with. By himself, top ramps. It's a common spot. Players are always going to be looking there, on top of which he didn't find the angle on the other player that actually already pushed into sight. So he just gets swept up, rug right from underneath him. Now you're going to have your Omen and your Sage here as Skylar on the hunt. Spike has been planted on A side. They're going to try and save their guns, but Skylar gets a kill on Cutler there. The backwards battle. And Skylar wins. It's a backwards battle because their names both spelled backwards. Lol. Here's Myth now. Ooh, I like this, actually. A little cheeky play there. Gets a kill. Upgrades the gun. Thank you. I'll take that. This is an agent that Myth plays all the time. He's very familiar with how good Omen is. He's been playing Omen for quite some time. Even, I think, post-buff, or pre-buff. Apologies. A third round win there for TenZ, though. Despite that, at least Myth got a weapon out of this. You know, it's not really going to be for all that much, but his team is still going to have to save anyway, as they're relatively broke, given how this game has panned out. DDK, Team TenZ on a path for maybe another round win.
Yeah, and there's also like a lot to exploit about the way the defense is set up. We may go into that in a moment. I just want to see what happens off the bat. We do get some pressure towards B main with the dark cover thrown out there. The spike is also, we can note, being dropped at towards Ramen in mid. But yeah, so I'll go with the point very quickly as we have somewhat of a save here. So one thing in this game that's really interesting, that's different but similar to CS, is that in CS you're often trying to work out what the opponent's setup is on the defensive side, so you can of course best exploit it or know where the holes are in their defense and win around that way. Or equally, what you'll do is you'll try and force their defense to take certain positions by the way that you take away parts of the map, or the way that you smoke off certain areas and you force their defense to play certain spots. Once you can force that defense to do that, you then know where they're playing and then you can exploit it. So it's always that battle of like knowing what you're up against. In this game, you can swap out agents from defensive positions, changing the dynamics like really enormously.
Yes.
And I feel like in this position, where we see this push is going to come in, I feel like there's a lot to exploit on the defense with just a Sage and a Omen to worry about on B.
Yeah, there is something that I think that Fish123 do a great job of, and that is one of the top teams, or I think right now the top team in Europe, is that their defense is very odd. They are always changing up where people are. And when you remove that feeling of comfort from you hate to see the TP not go the way you want there, pal. When you remove that feeling of comfort for the attacking team, like, oh, I know that if you're playing Haven, for example, I know that this guy's going to be playing A side, or I know the Cypher is going to be holding C, or the Sage is going to be holding A. Like, it just changes, and a big round win, by the way, for Team Myth. It just changes how the complexion of the game just goes to show what the abilities really impact in this one. And just also a thrifty round win. I know we were talking about deep diving into the game here, but that was a big round win for Myth, as they're able to get the thrifty, making this one 3-2. It was looking good for Team TenZ, but they slowed down just a little bit. Don't put your, or you release the foot from the pedal, and it ended up costing them there just a brief moment.
Yeah, and I would expect that TSM would get less rounds on the defense just because of their setup is not as defensively optimal. They've got quite a lot of aggressive options, but only Sage and Brim to really slow things down. That's it. And so that can be a problem. So I would expect to see more aggression possibly, but right now Team TenZ, they're putting a lot of pressure towards mid. there's a lot of ways, again, that they could really exploit the B bomb site, but there's a small adjustment that we have Brim playing with Sage towards B Heaven now, which should make that a little bit stronger. And so right now we may even have TSM thinking that they want to favor the B Heaven play, but there is a second player that looks like they've actually pinned him down, and there's the peek forced out from Cutler, who's able to get a trade at the very least, an additional kill. That is going to be a 3 versus 3 situation, so not all too bad. They got B site control as well. Wardell with another pickoff as they make their way down onto the side, and still with Omen there are problems here for the attack of Team 10s.
But they are trading out. Every single time they lose a player, they trade out instantly. It certainly has been commendable from them. Skylar picks Myth off.
They're just staring at each other.
Yeah, they were looking right at one another. The TP as he just yeets on out of there. Spike is going to be down.
1v1.
His drone got a kill on Mitch, and it is going to be Skylar,
Oh.
who cannot secure the round win. Oh boy, oh boy. Wait, never mind. I can't hear, actually. My audio is just a little off, so I just want to make sure. He seemed like he had a lot of time left. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, something's not connecting here. I got to fix my audio.
Yeah.
I was like, is that thing beeping faster? Like, I can't really tell. You know, we're dealing with a different kind of casting setup here, folks. So please, you know, like, excuse me.
Pro tip.
NA casters in the chat, go on ahead, or NA caster, because Dan's British, but that's fine.
That's fine. The pro tip: when the timer changes to the bomb logo, it flashes. It changes colors at the same tempo it beeps, so you can see visually how fast it's beeping if you can't quite hear it.
My quality dipped to like 480p there, but I tried.
No, come
back. Well, we've got things all tied up now for both teams, so it's going to be interesting to see what the adjustments will be.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Right out the gate.
Oh, yeah, just straight off the bat, going for that aggression, challenging the angle. We don't have that as much, actually, from the defenders when they change the barriers. If it's a little bit more attacker-sided, but I like the bravery there. You mix it in every so often, it's unexpected, and there's 3 towards A here on the defense for Team Myth, and the bomb is in middle at the moment, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can get any control here. They ultimately want to just get rid of a lot of the utility, burn out utility from the defender's side, and you can see that there's not really that much info right now, despite being 5 versus 4 for TSM to work off of. So they're just trying to hold position. They don't want to take aggressive positions and get information. They don't really need to. They've got the 5v4 advantage. Just play safe spots and try to get the info and then react after that.
This is a tall task as well for the Sage player. I have played this position quite a bit, the mid hold, and once that wall goes down, you're kind of in an island by yourself with not a lot of options to be able to move around there. He does make that flank around with his teammates. Drone is just securing a bunch of kills, and then Cutler from heaven as Skylar look to get some kind of control and salvage the round. Won't actually happen. 4-3. So the total here is Team Myth have managed to fight their way right back into this game, in the early game, actually, to point out there.
All right, so we have a pretty close game on our hands here as well, which is cool to see given the stakes. And I am curious what the next approach will be coming in from Team 10s on this attack. They lost the player early to that aggression, and that's so good to see. It's so good when you see the defenders taking small aggressions, just at these like really weird timings that they're not consistent. Maybe you do it once around here, once around there. Sorry, once a half, I should say, here or there, and that can really just make the difference. And this could be a pretty good spot. This spot sometimes works out extremely well. Okay.
Oh boy.
Myth, can he find something here?
Yep. Pops him right in the head. Just those cheeky positions that Omen's able to take because of the teleporter, playing around that dark cover. And he's been holding this B site admirably here. He really got this combination of Cutler and Myth that have been lights out for a few rounds now, and Cutler finding himself 2 again. And someone had mentioned in chat, and look at this. I mean, just such a clean round from TSM. A clean round. But someone mentioned in chat, as we were talking about Reyna OP LOL discussions, someone said people just need to stop looking away from the Leer and actually shoot it. And I don't know if you saw right there, Cutler, although he was exposed, the only option he had was to shoot it. A lot of people are not thinking about that. Is the difference between the Omen near sight and the Reyna near sight, right? Is that you can shoot Reyna's ability. Maybe they have to make that weaker. I don't know. But what I do know is I don't like what I'm seeing out of TSM, Dan.
I hope we're going to see a huge challenge towards B. One thing they could try to do is fake mid pressure to force out some Sage presence towards mid, and then just run through these smokes, because they're giving a lot of respect to Myth here. And maybe he's earned it because there's a lot of damage being done, initially at least.
Yeah, a lot of damage being done, slowed them down, gave his teammate time to be able to move around, pop that slow orb. Now here comes the push from Team 10s. The near side is out, though. A wall out on the other side. So now they're effectively boxed inside of here, gentlemen, with not a lot of angles to look around with. And you're going to be burning a ton of time there. Around 30 seconds or so is going to be wasted. So you got to rethink the strategy. And apparently you can't put Baby in a corner. I didn't know that.
I love it. I love that they just turn into an ice rink as well as soon as the ice orb goes in there as well. Yeah, there's and that's why you want to like fake heavy mid presence, because what happens then is you pull the Sage towards middle, and then you get a timing where you can just run through the smoke. But by the time the Sage gets there, it's just like a second or two too late. And that's actually a response I was expecting to see them go for. We see a reset here towards the A side. But what's really cool is that Wardell's in this position. He's got basically all of his abilities. He can take a shot here, dash away, maybe throw down a smoke as well. Cloudburst, we'll see how he decides to play it. That's a great initial shot. He just holds the angle still, though, because he's Wardell. Of course, why wouldn't he? Dareth challenge Wardell. It's just too difficult.
With the TP on the site.
Look at the way. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, Wardell. I just wasn't ready for you. I wasn't ready for you, Papa, but it's all right, though. Skylar is going to make that stop happen. Now it's going to be a 1v4, though. Spike is down. Skylar gets one kill on the Sub Rosa. He's looking now to see if anyone's going to try and challenge him. Take advantage of the kit. Dark cover. Off that vision, but he ends up getting nearsighted. Is anyone there on the follow-up? The Sage and the Phoenix are both on site. Skylar playing around his smoke brilliantly, but it's Drone who will end the run, the reign of terror that was looking to put together here, Skylar. That will give them a 6-round win here. 6-3 in the total score as we go into round number 10.
Yeah, really well done. I think what's interesting here to me as well is that, again, like both Brim and Sage are kind of playing towards that B heaven side of mid. So, and I think Myth is doing a really good job just sitting on B, delaying, being annoying, sometimes going for those aggressions. And there is definitely a lot that can be done here. If I think for teams 10s, if they try to do more in middle at the beginning of the round, start defaulting a little bit more, because right now Team Myth aren't really exploiting them if they were to default. Because one way you can exploit a team that's defaulting on the attacking side is to take aggressions either like through A ramp or B main, because they'll be playing maybe one player holding those positions on a default and the rest in mid. But we're not seeing that. So right now Team Myth could be pushing, but they're not. So my point is that there's a lot here that Team Myth are kind of potentially giving to Team 10s that Team 10s are not taking.
Well, Myth, though, does take the kill on that one. Wardell found the first blood at the start there. 10s, kills on Cutler. His teammate was around the corner here. And Wardell, if he has an op, he's going to be a problem. Look at that Spike player actually poked out and using that dark cover. It's going to be 10s. 1v1 now. And Drone comes through and strikes him down, giving them a 7th round win.
What a kill. That's such an important one as well, to get the 7-3. And again, like further cementing the dominance. It doesn't really seem like Team 10s are able to find the approach that works yet. Again, I just really want to see them focusing on that mid control. That would be really, really cool. But hey, it's perhaps that's not what they've practiced, and they feel more comfortable going for these like bigger site hits. They'll be spreading out a little bit more at the moment. So we'll see if they'll start slowing the pace down a little bit.
Little aggro from Drone. And I like that he's been doing this. He's been gutsy enough to go after this. Sometimes he does it without even the use of utility.
Yeah, that was like a nice little forward off angle, just ahead of the spot that you would pre-aim, and he would still have the advantage in terms of the distance advantage. So it's yeah, he knows how to play angles and how to peek. That's for sure.
Also gets a little bit of value out of that because he eliminated the camera for Cypher too. I think the Cypher was concerned that he may have gotten pushed there. So the camera's going to take some time for that to come back. It may not be that big of a deal, but you never know, though. The Brimstone ult flying through here. And that is going to be Myth now. Through the chaos and commotion, actually teleported back over to Ramen. And will get shot in the face by Infinite. All right, well, stand corrected on that one. It is now just your Sage, your Brim.
Oh, they're pushing into a controlled mid.
Yeah, very aggressive push here. They have full angles looking at this now. This was actually from a little while ago. So Wardell got a kill on Infinite when he was coming through sewer. They know where they're going to be. They have an inclination that either they're going to be in anime or ramen, or they're going to be in the back there. And we got to see that from the perspective of Sub Rosa. Another win for Team Myth, aka TSM. Really TSM. These are all TSM.
They're doing like a good job in terms of like understanding how their opponents are playing and sort of exploiting it. Like at the beginning of that last round, it's like a really small thing, but Drone, as you say, like he gets the kill in the camera, which is huge. And then they just know, like if there's no presence there, they know that there's going to be no action there. So then Wardell rotates. He's been playing A lot. He rotates fully all the way out of the picture there to help over towards B. But into the next round, we already see that Wardell's actually gone down early on into this run. So they've got a lot to kind of make up for. And this is a 5v4. We haven't seen many 5v4 openings on the attacking side for Team 10. So hopefully they're going to find a good result from this.
Picking off Wardell early on can oftentimes be that recipe for success. And I know it may seem just a little like, oh, we're putting way too much stock in what Wardell does for this team, but his op plays have just shut down everyone. That's the reason why they're 2-0 right now. But Drone, what a shot from him. The Reyna came around the corner and Drone gets another one. Drone gets 3. Oh my goodness gracious. Everyone tried to fight him up top, but at some point you gotta learn. Don't go up against him or else he's gonna stuff you down. Cutler with the follow-up gets the double, and that is the round for TSM.
Wow. Doesn't really seem exactly fair. That is amazing. Just that first shot, that's like the classic, you're on an angle, you get flashed to take you off the angle, you take that timing shot, you nail the timing, get the blind kill, and then it's just curtains from there. That's beautiful stuff from them. And I thought that Team 10s were going to find a way in. I thought they had a way in.
I thought so too. But it turns out Drone is a god. What are we supposed to do about this?
Just watch.
Watch
and enjoy.
What are their options? You know what I mean? Like, you got your big fragger out of there. Wardell has been terrorizing you in mid with the op. Drone picks it up and goes to work. And then that's all that momentum just lost in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, especially coming off the point you was making as well. It's like, Wardell's a big piece of the puzzle, but they've got more behind that. And we saw it right there. Drone doing a great job. He's been playing fantastically well, and on the offense now, it's be interesting to see how he plays. Quick flash out of the dark cover there to see if they can enter the bomb site. A lot of utility getting dumped onto the A defense to try to prevent Team Myth from taking control, and they're doing a pretty good job here. Team 10s himself will be able to take down Cutler and Sabrosa, and he has the spike under control. But it's up to Myth now. It's up to Myth. The lone Omen against 5. Are we going to see our first 1v5 on stream?
Yeah, the full might of Team 10s. It's one. They have identified where he is now. Doesn't have many options. A ramp is going to be open. The orb is going to be open too. As we jump over from the perspective of Myth, this is quite the task that he would have to undertake here. Does have a teleport, but if he does try to TP, I don't know what more he'll get out of that. And actually, so I don't think that's what he wanted there necessarily in that instance, but it happens. It happens.
I do want to bring up, this is we're playing on Split. We're playing on Split for the first time, and this is a map that at least during the beta was traditionally considered a very defense-oriented map. Obviously, they made some changes to try and help with that over the course of the beta and before launch with opening up mid a little bit, but still the bomb sites are left more or less unaffected. And with the Cypher on the side of 10s, going to be hunkering down on that B side, I'm interested to see if this really starts to swing back the other way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot on this map that's not really been explored, because I think there was so much focus around the strength of Sage and Cypher that they got played just one way on this map. So we didn't really get to see a lot of the diversity that's possible, but we do get a quick push into the B-bomb site before we continue that point. And Drone's going to open things up, taking down Shinobi here, and they just have pistols to work with. So this is actually a huge win right now for TSM, especially if they get the bomb planted. The spike is on the way now, and they're going to try to take forward positions, but They shouldn't be able to hold on to this, but maybe they will. They got a 4v3 now.
No, dude.
Yeah, it's like I'm very just. It seems like there was a little bit of miscommunication there from what we're seeing. But Drone, what a lineup shot there on tens. He was on top of the catwalk and then just gets punished by a ghost from downtown. So now Drone heals himself, puts that spike down on the default plant. Myth cleans it up there with the classic. Finally, we'll get the kill, and that is a thrifty round win for Team Myth. I can't believe it, folks. Like, I don't even know what happened that round. There was like a spike toss as if it was just like a hot potato. Like, I don't even know.
Let's actually listen in with Myth's team here, hear how they're coordinating these offensive efforts.
One market, one B.
They just have to push.
Yeah.
Just
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. I got B.
I'll help you B if they push.
I'll go sewer. Cutler, you hold A.
Yeah.
Myth, you can either come with me or go away with him. It's up to you.
Do not die.
I'll go away. Just smoke the cross a day, Myth.
Yeah, I'm just
deny
gonna
Myth.
apologize.
Camera D.
Hag going B main.
Hey, speaking.
Could be running smoke.
Speaking B main.
Got a USP in mid.
They're gonna get really cheesy. So.
Mara, there's a camera here.
Let them burn. They just burned a sage though. When they finish burning everything, we'll do a B split. Yeah.
He could be cross. He could have crossed.
Yeah, I'll hurt.
Reom and smoke.
I'm gonna smoke mid. I'm gonna smoke mid.
One of you guys come back.
Zip.
You
Yeah,
both come with me. Myth, come here.
Come back.
Alone A. Yeah, both of you come here. We're gonna B split. Alright, don't push into main, guys. Don't push
Yeah,
A.
we're
Just
fine.
stay
We're
main.
fine. Break both sides, Matt.
We're gonna B split. You Cutler wall
I
off
my
ropes.
wait,
We're gonna
hold
go
backside, hold backside.
When I get
Backside,
there.
backside. He flashed. He flashed. Blind.
Woman's here. We
Myth,
should-
go main. Go main and get bomb. Go B main and get
Go
bomb.
main?
Stay with me. Alright, let's go. Start splitting B, guys. Heaven, Goosh, dead.
I smoked
Heal me, cut.
I smoked hard for you guys.
Alright, I'm flashing.
I'm gonna hold backside. Backside.
We're Heaven.
I'm blinding sight.
Finish up. It's clear. Side's clear. Last guy's anywhere.
Nice. Planning default.
Yeah, I'm gonna play.
Flawless. No fucking deaths, boys. Come on. Yes, don't you eco hunt, you little fucking nerd.
They have a pendulum.
They bought?
Wait, they bought?
Okay, never mind. Fuck a flawless. Go hunt them.
Well, this guy had a
I'm with you, Or. Let's go.
Our wall broke.
Heaven. Oh, I got hunted. He's nice. Good job.
Just show you off.
Damn right.
I call this a Valorant because my capture card makes my digital Valorants 200%
team
bigger. I only played
Feeling
100.
pretty
Yeah,
strong.
they're gonna get aggressive.
A little bit of inner team banter as well. Probably helping the mood.
Yo, can I get
Pretty broke here.
Yeah, that was a great round as well. Like the clarity there was really cool to see that they just kind of run their default at the beginning. They lay down this very clear end goal, which is like we're going to build into a B split from this, and then they bring the players through sewers. They keep the players towards B main. Myth gets the bomb, and it's at the point in time where because they've been defaulting, Sage's utilities mostly completely burned. So they made their own lives easier for themselves. I love that we got such a clean execution of that round. I think we got really lucky there.
Yeah, most listenings don't get better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, good stuff though. Drone, it's another kill for him. Has been the, I wouldn't say the rising star of this one because we've seen these guys before in other games, but at the very least though, in this competition with so much conversation happening with Cutler or Wardell, or even what Myth has been able to bring to this team, I feel like Drone's kind of just gotten a tad overlooked, which is unfortunate. It definitely shouldn't be the case here. Doesn't matter though because they're making us talk about them.
Oh, for sure. It's one of those things where like his role, you don't necessarily. I don't think it's completely obvious as to what you want to expect from it, but he just delivers like very powerful, impactful kills at anchors positions, always gets that extra frag and so on. So really cool to see that that's coming out, and it's good to see that players are going to be able to make a name for themselves, rebrand a little bit in a game like this, whereby in Counter-Strike, Drone plays Counter-Strike, but if you have people heard of him, do they know of him? Does he have an identity in that game? He does, but this is where you get to wipe the slate clean, and he's looking real good.
Holy shit, dude, he almost owned me.
And a thrifty round win there, and a bit of a surprise for the C9 guys who have been struggling in this game. This is a huge match, folks.
I mean, I could buy myself.
Team 10s, if they want to advance to tomorrow, they need this win. But for Team Myth, though,
Yeah, that's
if
what
they
I'm trying
win
to
this
say, though.
one
Like,
out
people are
3-0,
like,
it does not matter what happens
oh my god, like how's this team
in our
leadership
in our
fail?
other
Like,
game
number
that's
one, he's
going on,
obviously, like, you know, he's not playing bad, but also like
because
this
they would be
team,
3-0 in this
didn't they
group.
win
And,
the
you know, I think a
tournament?
2-1 would have been realistic here, but 3-1 is
it's not like
just
having
a
an IPO,
testament
like,
to
super
how much
important
work
right
Myth
now.
has been putting into this, but also just how
Could be
talented
stuff, but-
that Valorant CS or excuse me, that
I'm holding my
Valorant
hands out of this,
TSM roster is.
Push it through.
Yeah, good mixture of the old vets, experienced players, and the young stars. And they're really hungry as well. They also, like, some of the players like, you know, Cutler and Relics are going to have such good like chemistry and communication from all their years of experience in playing together and so on. And you throw Hayes into that mix as well. He would normally be on the lineup instead of Myth, and it even gets better than that. So big presence in mid here right now for Team Myth. They're looking to get control there. Shinobi will be able to take down one, but he's actually alone now as he's lost his ropes player, and so he's gonna have to back away towards B Heaven. So Team Myth looking like they could threaten an A split in this position, and the bomb, the spike on Omen does look like it's rotating through sewers for that A splits.
I'll see what Mitch is gonna do here as he's hanging out up top. We're gonna need that help in a few moments. Drone, he's gonna go in for this fight. He's just waiting for the opportune moment to make it happen. There's that dark cover that's going to be out. And then I think Mitch was thinking about maybe placing down that stim beacon. Does get blocked out for coverage there. Mitch gets two, but Wardell comes in with that op. And now they have a site. Drone's going to be playing an aggressive position over here on the defender side. Like that play, but I don't think he got the flash he wanted. He definitely didn't get the flash he wanted. And now it's going to be left up to Wardell, the op master. Also playing his Jet, looking for one. Gonna be able to tag him. Is he gonna bag him? Is this it? He's blades out now. In case things are gonna get a little dicey, he should be able to deal with them. If he misses the shot, expect those blades to come out. Will he have an opportunity? Will he be able to react in time to do so? He drifts out of the way, but it's Infinite who wins with the Phantom. He flew out in a direction I mean, he really didn't have many options given where he was playing, so he was not able to take out the blades and get that hit scan advantage there. And Infinite wins that round, keeping Team 10s in this battle.
That was a real close one. There's no doubt about that, and it's a huge moment because they're not at 12 yet. They're not at match point yet, so there's a real chance to work a comeback into this, especially given that should they convert on this round, well, then you know Team Myth is going to have an eco round in the next one, so all of a sudden it's 8-11, and you've got a pretty big economy, and the game's absolutely on. So if they can just win this next buy round, this really would make the difference. And they had a large amount of success by just taking mid control very heavily in that previous round. So I wonder if we'll see similar action here. We do have Brim and Jet out there for Team SM. And as they're going to start, as they did previously, they'll probably feel like, hey, guys, we got such good positions in that previous round. We're going to win that most of the time. Let's just do it again.
Skylar gets hit with the near sight there, forcing him to have to just take a defensive position. He did have a teammate there, the Sage, guarding him. They continue to push forward here, march through. A lot of mid presence, the Phoenix, the Brim, the Jet, everyone. Wardell's looking for an opening. He's daring anyone to try and go in there and challenge him, but no one does. Myth is also going to be playing a TP position and will get sent right back from whence he came, but did get some information as to who was going to be located inside of Heaven. That prompts out the Brim ult to just kind of slow things down a little bit. Don't think he really got anything out of that, even the intel, or even slow down, because they're still going to be located up top as Drone gets a headshot on Infinite. And that look at that there. Just the way that they inch little by little by little to A, and then once that kill comes through, the full push around, they go right back to B, and that is just textbook the way that they did that, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Just they completely sold that A play, like hook, line, and sinker, and the rotation out and then back in is just so brutal here. All trying to come from spawn to be heaven, but I don't know that it's going to be all that successful. You can see the slow orb is there in place. You got Brimstone, elevated position. Right now, there's just so much firepower, so many bodies to throw at this defense that there is just no chance for Team 10 to retake this. And as you said, rightly so, they get that forward position on the ropes. They create a huge degree of threat towards A. The only rotation that's possible is through spawn, and then they have then if they go for that spawn rotation, they have a worse timing than the attackers to either bomb site, meaning that boom, you've won the game on position alone. Beautiful.
Now match point for Team Myth, aka TSM, who are just one round away from advancing to our bracket play section of this tournament tomorrow with a 3-0 in group play, utter domination in Group A. This was labeled the Group of Death. Well, it seems like everyone pretty much fell to the prowess of this roster. If it keeps going like this, though, not going to count this Team 10 C9 roster out of it quite yet. Lots of talent on this team, but it's really going to boil down to who's going to get this first pick here and who's going to cause this problem. But it's Cutler who gets the better of Mitch on top of the ramp. Spike's going to be picked up by Myth. They're going to now start to force attention away. Look, the Cypher rotates. The Omen, just some slight movement there as they're preparing for anyone to try and push into the A site. And they're still keeping their Phoenix present to at least give them the idea that they're going to be playing around this. But once their Sage, it's going to be too late if their Sage runs into them. They're going to need that support. There goes the ult that's out. Sub Rosa gets the kill on Skylar. A huge kill there. You now know that this B Heaven is going to be exposed, and then they go through it again. It's like they're making them just really earn those steps there, Dan. This is nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot I have to say about how they've actually run this round. We're going to
Crazy.
in a moment. We'll see if Team 10's going to try to find a recovery. 10's able to pick up one there. The healing comes through, but there's just too much firepower in heaven, and it's going to be that 13-6. But if we just quickly go over tactically how they managed to win that round, they had Myth throw the blind up high. They had the runway covered so that there could be the push from the Phoenix up to take